earlier, Aaron Rodgers finally becomes a New York Jet.
Finally.
And I was fresh off a cocktail hour at the beach and taking a nap in my room on vacation and woke up to this news. So I was like, damn, we definitely have a nice show lined up for Friday already. So the trade package was officially as follows. Of course, the quarterback Aaron Rodgers goes to the New York Jets. They switch first-round picks, so the Jets get the 15th, the Packers get the 13th, and
Right.
then the Jets also get a fifth-round pick, number 170 overall in this year's draft. The Packers get the 13th pick, like I mentioned. They switch the 13th and the 15th pick there. They get a second-round pick for this year. They get a sixth-round pick for this year, and then if, or rather when, Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of snaps for the Jets next year, a 2024 first round pick will come into play. So let's ask the honest question. We knew Aaron Rodgers was going to go there. You know, we've talked about what he's going to be with the Jets. We've talked about maybe the percentages of, or not the percentages, but the win records, the stat line, how it could be throughout the season. Who won the trade, Ryan?
You know what? You made some excellent points in breaking down the picks and all that. I'm a peace of mind guy. And I think, to be fair, both teams won the draft. I think, the Packers can now move on, right? They don't have this Aaron Rodgers aura lingering around Lambeau anymore. They can see what Jordan Love is all about. Maybe he can, establish a connection with those young receivers that are left there in Green Bay. And the Jets get their guy. I mean, they get a quarterback. Anything would be better than Zach Wilson. So if you take out the picks and all that and just look at the environment itself, I think both teams walked away with this saying, you know what? I think we can live with that. Now, as far as the picks are concerned, obviously, I think the Jets got a steal, to be honest with you. I mean, they really didn't have to give up a lot to get Aaron Rodgers. So if you look at it from that aspect, then, yeah, you can say maybe the Jets won it. But overall, for me, like I said, I'm a peace of mind guy. I think that both teams can just walk away and say, you know what? We're okay. We're good.
Yeah, I feel you. I got to push back there. I don't think in any way, shape, or form did the Jets win this. And you specifically mentioned that they didn't give up a lot. I think they gave up too much and definitely a lot to get Aaron Rodgers because, again, we look into it, right? So Aaron Rodgers is clearly the outlying piece. So it's
Right.
what's the compensation for him? The 13th and the 15th round pick, that's kind of a wash because you're switching
Right.
it there. The fifth round pick, 170 overall, and the sixth round pick, 207 overall. If you want to pull hairs over a fifth and sixth round pick, fine. That's kind of a wash as well. It's the 2024 conditional second that becomes a first, not if, but when Aaron Rodgers is going to play 65% of snaps next year. That's where it comes in. So you have a first round pick and a second round pick, essentially, for Aaron Rodgers. And you also had to, switch around your first round pick this year in order to move up and get him. So in terms of winning the trade, I think it's Green Bay. And when you break it down, you got to move up 2 spots in the draft, grab a first and a second round pick for a way back 9 of his career quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. The fifth and the sixth rounders, like I said, for each team are going to wash each other. And then along with the swap of the 13th and the 15th pick as well. So I think if there's a clear winner, it's definitely Green Bay. And the reason it's such a win for Green Bay is because Aaron Rodgers, of course he won 4 MVPs there. Of course he took them to many NFC championships. Of course he took them to the one and only Super Bowl and won that for them. There's no question about that with Aaron Rodgers. But outside of that, people regard him as maybe the best regular season quarterback of all time, next to a Peyton Manning, next to, a Drew Brees that was just really putting up a lot of numbers, but not necessarily bringing home the hardware in the postseason. You look at how toxic Aaron Rodgers was. You look at the fact that he wasn't necessarily meshing with the GM, with the head coach. He wanted the GM fired,
Right.
which I thought he's really going out on a limb for that.
Yeah, he was.
Doesn't really mesh with young receivers. I've been saying it for months. This is a disaster waiting to happen. I said it when Russell Wilson went to the Broncos. It's not going to be a disaster, but with the Broncos last year, brand new quarterback, brand new head coach, team was being sold. That's a lot of movement and a lot of news in one year. And the Broncos are being sold, to the heirs of Walmart and for about $1 billion more than what should have happened. I know some people think, this is just news, this is just media. No, when you're involving this with a business, which the NFL is a business, this type of noise is absolutely going to matter. Now, were you surprised? I know you think that it wasn't a lot for the Packers, and that's fine. Do you think it was shocking to look at the haul, knowing that it took so long, knowing that there was a lot of stories about there doesn't want to be a first-round pick, they definitely don't want to give up 2 firsts? What are your thoughts on the package?
Again, they jettisoned somebody that they were ready to move off from. I think they just didn't know how to really do that. I mean, it seems like the last 2 or 3 years we've been talking about Aaron Rodgers moving on. Like even last year, remember, he was going to hold out, and Obviously, this year was his last swan song. So, I mean, when you think about it, yeah, I mean, I agree. The Packers, there's a case for that, saying that they won the trade in itself. But I guess you know what. At the end of the day, again, I'm a peace of mind guy. I think both teams got what they really wanted. But like you said, he will probably play 65% of those snaps, and that pick will be a big one. Um, but maybe he doesn't. Maybe he gets hurt. I don't know. He's an older guy, but we'll just have to wait and see with that one.
Right. Right. Yeah. We'll definitely have to see how everything plays out, because I think that's really going to give the true judge of if the trade package was too much, if it was just
Right.
right, who the actual winner and loser of, this trade will be. But let's talk a little bit about the initial press conference that happened when he got to the New York Jets. And I just want to see if this kind of says anything to you. It seems out of the ordinary to me for Aaron Rodgers, and of course the side of the fence that I'm standing on with this situation. I'm going to say it's a facade. I'm going to say it's smoke and mirrors. He's saying what he's supposed to say. First press conference, of course,
Oh,
he's
of
mentioned the
course.
Super Bowl trophy looking
Yeah.
lonely. So let's get into a few of his comments. He comes in. First thing, I came here because of Coach Saleh and the guys who play here. I think there's 8 to 12 teams every year who can win a Super Bowl, and the Jets are one of them. Great. That's what you're supposed to say. You just came over there. And we'll also get into a little bit. I didn't put this on there, but I know I think we got a little bit of time for it, and I think you'll enjoy it as well. The Super Bowl III trophy, looking lonely. Of course, that was the right thing to say. And then he didn't directly answer the question of how long he's going to be a Jet due to the compensation
Yeah, I
that was
heard his
given up for
comments. Yep.
him. When he was asked that in the presser, he, essentially said he was going to stay in the moment, listen to his
Yep.
body. That's a real priority of him. Being an older player, he knows that there's not 5, 6 years ahead of him. He
Right.
does want to be a player, like he says, being a starting quarterback in his 40s, playing into his 40s. But he reportedly told a small group of reporters that this isn't a one and done situation. So between mentioning the coach, mentioning the Jets being a Super Bowl caliber team, talking about the trophy, and then kind of word salading his way around a one and done season, do you think that Aaron Rodgers is being completely truthful here? Do you think that um
I know what you mean. I know what you
right,
mean.
yeah, okay.
I
Okay,
know
go
what you
ahead.
mean, brother. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
You know what? This Aaron Rodgers he's a wordsmith. Okay, we goes
I
back to
guess he is. That's a
the
perfect description for
he's
him.
a wordsmith. He's remember with the whole COVID, the vaccination stuff.
I've been immunized.
He right.
Damn, I forgot about that.
And that's when I was watching that press conference, that's all I can think about was him sidestepping that whole question about the vaccination.
I'm glad you
I don't
brought
I
that
don't
up.
think he's that truthful, man. Honestly, I think he doesn't really know what he's gonna do. He said he walked into the darkness and he came out and wanted to be a Jet, and I, I think he just wanted out of Green Bay, and they happen to be
Yeah.
the best situation. You know, I would whatever he says, you have to take with a grain of salt. He's not a very trustworthy guy. Throughout his career, he's been a very surly, self-absorbed, really not caring about anybody else other than himself. And
Yeah.
he said the right things as you should say in a press conference. Of course, he's not going to come out and say, "Well, you know what, guys, I'm only going to play, this season, and that's it." Because if that's the case,
Right.
the Jets wouldn't even made the trade. The Jets probably would have made a run at Lamar or somebody else, or maybe tried to move up.
Yep.
So I don't know, but yeah, I don't trust the guy. I think and this might sound weird for a lot of people. He's probably the best quarterback in the history of the NFL as far as like a talent is concerned. Like
Oh yeah.
he's got the arm, he's
Right.
got the vision, he's got all the tools that you need. But at the end of the day, man, is he a great teammate? I don't know, but I don't trust the
Right.
dude as far as I can throw him.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. Because what if this Jet deal doesn't work out? Are we going to be
Oh, it's
reliving?
a bust.
Yeah,
It's a major bust for the package and everything. If
is he going to go into the dark again? Is he going to start putting stuff out in the media? And because you know how he
yeah.
is, so it's kind of like, is he going to throw Joe Douglas under the bus? Like the only difference, though, you're in New York, and this is a different media, and they might get after him a little bit, and he might not like that. So, but I don't trust the guy. I don't trust him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, and I think when Aaron Rodgers is like, "Oh, I wanted to be a quarterback," that Darby, I was wondering where you were. I was starting to get really lonely without you here. I was like, "Man, my chats ain't coming through on YouTube," but good to see you, Darby. He was the one last night talking about Anthony Richardson going into the first overall. What are your thoughts on the Saints pick? I've never heard of
Who'd
this
you guys
dude.
who'd you guys take?
So I heard of this guy, but he wasn't high up, and I don't know why New Orleans always does this. I swear it's like Sean Payton's out thinking the room periodically in a game just permanently rubbed off on us in the draft. We took Isaiah Foskey out of Notre Dame. He's an edge.
Mm.
He had 11 sacks and 14 tackle for loss last season, so I'm definitely, not going to say that that's bad. I mean, just since we're on it a little bit, we'll get into it. So Darby says, "What's your thought on the Saints pick? Never heard of this guy." I would have liked BJ Ojolari. I would have really liked Brian Branch, to be honest with you, out of Alabama. That would have been really nice. But I
He's,
mean,
he's seen some
and yes, I agree with you, Darby. We also could have had Jalen Hyatt, which is very, very odd as well. Yeah, I don't know, man. I gotta say, the last 3 years. Well, no, last year was okay. Penning was a solid pick because of what was going on around him. He just got into a lot of fights in practice and couldn't stay healthy. I think,
he's crazy.
like, I don't know why the Saints didn't take Nolan Smith. I really don't.
Yeah, could have used that little injection because what Najee
Or
Davenport's gone, right? He's gone.
say
Davenport
again.
is Davenport still there?
Yeah, Davenport signed with the Vikings. Yep,
Okay,
Davenport's gone. So I mean, we lost Davenport. He's old. We lost Davenport. We lost Caden Ellis. We lost David Onyemata. So it's definitely tough. Did we just give up on Peyton Turner? I mean, he's been a bust, bro. Honestly, he has been. We took him in the same year that, Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields went in the draft. Peyton Turner's done nothing. We could have taken a receiver that year. I think the last 3 years, the Saints have really half-assed the draft because I don't like this pick necessarily, considering BJ Ojolari and Jalen Hyatt are available. Or if they weren't, I'm not watching the draft live.
right.
I don't like the Peyton Turner pick. We took a wide receiver in like the 5th or 6th round that year after when we took Peyton Turner. So I didn't get it, man. The Saints are.
A
It's all
couple,
good. We love the
good
league.
guys came off the board though.
Say again.
A couple good guys came off the board. Joey Porter Jr., Pittsburgh. That's a nice fit.
Damn, Pittsburgh got Joey Porter.
Yeah, I mean he's a legacy.
Damn, yeah,
He's a
he
legacy there.
is. Yeah, he is.
The legacy there. Michael Mayer, Las Vegas, to replace Darren Waller. That's actually not.
Damn. Okay.
Sam
Yep.
Laporta
Sam
goes to
Laporta
Arizona.
went to the Lions.
Steve Avila. That's I wanted the Cowboys to take, but he's going
Yeah.
to the Rams. So, Jonathan Mingo. This is a guy, Carolina, man. I think Carolina's done a fantastic job in this offseason. I think personally, you get your quarterback, you get Adam Thielen, you get Miles Sanders, you add a Hayden Hurst. I think these are not like big time names, but these are guys I think that can help them, maybe win a couple games this year. So, and then they signed Jonathan Mingo, who I think is like a mini. He's a poor man's Anquan Bolden. I don't know if a lot of you guys remember Anquan Bolden, but
Oh yeah, bro.
he was legit. Tough. He can catch those tough passes.
Very
Big,
tough.
strong dude. Not very fast, but some good guys coming off the board this second evening, man.
Yeah, I'd like to see where Jalen Hyatt, BJ Ojolari, Brian Branch.
Oh,
See,
Ojolari's gone. I think he's gone.
is he?
Yeah, I think I just saw that. Yeah. Arizona Cardinals.
Nice. Good pick for Arizona.
That's a good
I
pick. They
like
needed
that
that.
value in BJ Ojolari. I think
They needed that.
Ojolari is going to be I think he's going to be solid. But now, like you were saying about Aaron Rodgers, so here, Super Bowl III trophy looking lonely. Okay, clearly, like he's pulling out the wordsmithing there, talking about the trophy, clearly being displayed like that they haven't won one. We get that. Of course, he's going to allude to Coach Saleh, which here with the Coach Saleh illusion is where, it kind of stuck out to me. We know that there was reports of him not necessarily meshing or getting along with LaFleur, which I thought was crazy. There was those rumors for a second of LaFleur potentially getting fired after the second or third season, and I'm like, what are we talking about here? He wanted the GM fired, and he talks about the guys who play here. Aaron Rodgers does not mesh well with unusual players that he doesn't know or rookie players that he doesn't know. But hey, like I said, Aaron Rodgers is really going to have to change. He's going from the West Coast to the East Coast. He's going to a very big media city. He's going there later in his career, and he's going to there with a team that is a core of young players. And I believe that he probably wouldn't like not the Nolan Smith. It should have been Nolan Smith. He probably doesn't like the Will McDonald pick.
No.
JSN would have been nice there.
Yeah.
I get it. Garrett Wilson's there. Miko Hardman's there. They brought some guys in. Tyler Conklin at the tight end position. So it's going to be decent. But, I just, a lot of what he said, I'm like, yep, I'm just seeing right through it, like you said, too. And then let's really talk about the whole one and done situation. He evaded that well. But when he said, I've always planned to start as a quarterback in my 40s. I've always planned to be a starting quarterback in my 40s. He turns 40 later this year, pretty
Right.
sure. I could see Aaron Rodgers playing this season, stepping out, retiring, moving on, whatever the case is. But to him, that's going to be fine because he said he was going to be a starting quarterback in his 40s. He's going to
Yeah.
technically turn 40 and have a few starts under his belt as
Right.
a quarterback. I
He's
know
that
it
type
sounds
of guy.
very semantic, very
No,
specific,
that's
but
him though.
exactly after the whole immunized thing, after just the way things have played out with the young players, unusual players, like I'm not necessarily going to believe that this is going to be something that Aaron Rodgers is really holding his word for. So we will definitely have